All right.
Yes, sir. Hey, yo, what the deal, my people? You know who this is, Don Tony Teflon, and I'm back at you with another one. And this one is Game of Thrones Season 7. Motherfucking new pictures released. Motherfucking Q&A. Me, the Don Tony Teflon, joined as always my co-host in the building with me this time. We one, the only Mojini, baby. Let him know.
What's going on, folks? It's Moji, the king of the North-East, Mojini, baby. It's the bareback barbarians. What's good, Teflon?
You know what it is, man. What up to everybody out there? What up to everybody chilling in the chat? What up to everybody out there doing their thing tonight? You know what I mean? I'm chilling, my man Mo. He chilling. We up in this motherfucker, and we gonna talk a bit about this Game of Thrones situation that has been going on, especially these pictures that have been released. We can talk about the trailer. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about, Mo. But we gonna talk about it, and then we gonna leave it up to y'all, the people in the chat. The motherfucking chat to ask the questions to get us through this motherfucking night and stuff like that. So what up to everyone joining us right now? I'm sure we will have more as the time goes on. Hope everybody is feeling good, you know what I mean? So what's going on with you? What's up to my man? What's this? What's that right there? Monkey Shadow from Germany. What up to my people out there in Germany? What up to Keisha Houston? What up to Yara B? What up to J Meezy? What up to DMT Nightmare? What up to Zaim? What up to PD Derek? You know what I mean? Got love for everybody up here. Happy that you can join us tonight. Mo, have you seen a lot of these pictures? Have you been following anything on this off season or what?
Yeah, man, absolutely. I've stayed away from the spoilers a little bit. That's why you guys haven't seen me do, too many videos lately. I've been really busy with work. You know what I mean? Work's been killing me. I'm going to be back for all the subs. Y'all going to see me. I'm doing the videos again. But I've definitely stayed in touch. I've been chilling on Watchers of the Wall, seeing all the new pictures for the new season. Super excited. Man, Teflon, this shit's getting exciting, bro.
It is. It's coming down to it. You know what I mean? We only got a couple of episodes left, but we got the listing of the episode times. I seen that came out. And a lot of these episodes, one episode I think is running 81 minutes. Another episode is running a little bit over 60 minutes. And, when you look at that and you hear those things, 60 minutes, 70 minutes, you get so happy, you get so, oh my God, I can't believe we're getting these long ass episodes. But when you really look at the time and you put it together, you still see that's not a full season that they're putting in, you know what I mean? So, they're kind of, they're trying to scratch your back here a little bit, but it's still kicking the ass when you really look at it, that's not a full season. But they should have been doing these long ass episodes for other episodes in the season. But I'm just thinking that there's no way. I don't want to see no filler shit. I don't want no fluffer. All right? No fluffer. We don't need the fluff right now. We coming in rock hard on this because there's no way that there should be a boring moment in any of these fucking episodes at whatsoever. I think every episode has to be exciting. I had to have no choice but to make it that way, and they don't have no excuse. You know what I mean? So if it just cuts out the fat, then I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? But if it's still some fat in that motherfucker, it's still whack up in there, I'm not going to be happy about it. What do you say about these extended episodes, Mo?
Yeah, I'm with you. They got to trim the fat this season. They got to get to that nitty gritty. They got to get to that ooey gooey, folks, that smooth scent on the inside with the caramels and the nougats. You know what I mean? With the good stuff. You know what I mean? Like a Snicker cone. They got to have the goodies on the inside this season.
Yeah. Oh, we got hit with some money in there. You see that, Mo?
Oh, man. Who is that? I see that. That's that new YouTube feature. Maya Naka Shadow.
Drop them out, whoever hits that dough. Whoever, thank you. So that's a euro, too. That's 10 euro dollars. That's more than American money. You know what I mean? So good looks for you hitting me up with that. We got the campaign. Get the Don to the Con. You can go to my GoFundMe. Get the Don to the Con. Help a brother out. We have almost hit our goal. We are like $300 away from our goal. So if you can help us out there, we definitely appreciate that without a doubt. You know what I mean? It all helps out to get us where we're trying to get going to. You know what I'm saying? But thank you. Much love to you. Who was it that donated that money, Mo?
Mayanaka Shadow.
That's straight up. One love to you. You know what I mean? That's how we do. You know, I really do appreciate that. Straight up right there. So I don't know. We gonna pull up some of these pictures and take a look at them and get some opinions on these pictures, or we gonna just go right to the chat?
Let's go to the chat for a little bit. We got a couple new people in here. New subs I'm seeing. New people in the chat. New peoples. Maybe I've been gone too long. I don't know.
Yeah, we got some new heads. We got some more flavor. You know how we do. We keep it moving. We keep people building. We still building and stuff like that. We building channel. We growing. Shout out to all the people chilling out here. Teflon TV, Tony Teflon, the Don, Mo Genie. This is how we do. Mo, hit them with the question. What's the question? What they asking us?
Is Peter Baelish going bye-bye this season? That's the question. Is he going bye-bye? You know what I mean?
Ain't no doubt about it. Peter Baelish is out of here. You know what I mean? Out of here, like last year. There's no way Peter Baelish survives this season. It's impossible. Even when they did the Game of Thrones, they did that thing with the cloth when they showed you how they made the clothes and all the clothes they were using this year. They focused too much on Peter Baelish's clothes. He's not a main character. Why would they focus on his outfits? His outfits aren't even elaborate. So why would they even focus on this guy to have him the first and the last shot? You heard me say it in my video. I know you heard other YouTubers say it after me. That's the way it is. There's no doubt about it. It's definitely going down like that. Peter Baelish is out of here. Trusted Don. What are you thinking, Mo?
Absolutely, absolutely. And I got a doozy for y'all. I got a motherfucking doozy. I haven't dropped this on any of my videos yet. This is going to be a Teflon exclusive. It's going to be Sweet Robin that kills Peter Baelish.
Sweet Robin. This season, and how is that going to work out this season for Sweet Robin?
How does Street Fighter? You know that Street Fighter shit when Ryu just gives you that fucking punch?
Yeah.
Last bar, and it just goes, ooh.
I have delivered that punch to many a foe, but Ken is my man. Ken is the one I use. Because his dragon punch, it darts out, doesn't just go straight up. That was the reason why. But yeah, so how do you feel that Robin's going to get to Littlefinger? Are we going back to the Vale, you're saying, this season?
Absolutely. It's a wrap. It's donezo. I believe a lot of people have said the moon door. You know, a lot of people have said he's going out the moon door. I think it'll be a little bit less subtle. I think it'll be a Sansa situation where Sansa will manipulate Sweet Robin and she will get him killed. Sweet Robin will, you know, want to prove his worth to Sansa. She's going to manipulate him as easy as Peter Baelish has been manipulating him, and that's how it's going to work. It's easy peasy Japanesey.
No doubt about it. I'm definitely with you. Real quick before we get to that, I see what up to my man Big E. What up to Sir LT Giles in the building. What up to Curtis Crow. And what up to Renee M. Now, Renee M is saying, what hold up? What happened to my wrench? Has my watch ended? No, your watch has not ended. What happened to you, Rich? Is this really Renee M or is this an imposter? Because I thought Renee's name was like something else. Is this really Renee or is this an imposter trying to come in here as Renee M? You don't know nowadays. It's hard to trust it. You got to give me some proof of life, Renee M, that I know that's really you. Because people be coming here under fake identities. They known for that shit. But back to this thing. Yeah, it's, you know, I would love to see Peter Baelish go through the moon door. I did a video predicting that he would go through the moon door. I know in the books it's going down like that. But for show purposes, I do believe that it's quite a possibility that Arya Stark is the one that takes out Peter Baelish for Sansa. I think that they may have to give Arya something to do because she's back and they're not doing the exact storyline that they're doing from the books. So maybe they give Arya that kill as the same way they gave Brienne the Stannis kill. We know that's not going to happen. It's quite possible it goes down like that. What do you think, Mo?
Arya getting the Baelish kill is definitely out there. She was with Tywin Lannister, when Peter Baelish was getting the maneuvers to go do his thing, to go handle Catelyn Tully. Y'all remember season 2 when the war was going down, when everything was going down. Baelish and Lord Tywin were in the same room when Arya was there overhearing and listening to everything. She knows Peter Baelish betrayed her family. It's easily could be the one that kills her. Most definitely. I mean, you gotta have that situation, down packed. I just believe it'll be, the tragedy that it'll be his son, Sweet Robin. And yeah,
All right.
Sweet Robin is his son.
Wait a second now you're bringing up a whole different situation, Mo Genie. Now you're saying something else here. You tried to slip it in there. I see you tried to slip it. You tried to slip it. You tried to get away with just putting in the head. You gave that line to the chick. You said, hey, can I just put a tip in? I know you ladies done heard that line, the tip. Can I just get the tip in there? And you allowed it to happen. You know the whole thing was coming after. Mo Genie just snuck in the tip right now. Now you're trying to say that Peter Baelish has a child? Mo Genie, explain yourself.
Absolutely. I'm definitely not claiming this one. This is definitely not my theory. This has been out there for a little bit. Definitely think Teflon was on this one way early in the game. Peter Baelish's son is Sweet Robin. It is known. It is fact. It's why he is spending so much time grooming him and positioned him to take over the Vale and the Eyrie and so forth and so on. This is not, this is not his son. It's definitely his son. I did a double entendre right there. It's his son, and it's the real deal. Holyfield, Teflon.
It's quite possible. I know honestly, I have not came up with the theory of that's his son. That's not me. I've came up with a lot of things, but that one was not me. I see why people think it is. I know why people want it to be, and I'm not saying that it's not. I'm just saying that it's quite possible. It would be fitting if it was Peter Baelish's son, but the time does a little funky things with it. But it's quite possible that it could be. He does look like Peter Baelish, and it would be fitting that if Peter Baelish died by the hands of his own child after all the bullshit that he pulled. But when I'm looking at the show, and I'm looking at the way it's been built, the number one thing that we've seen from Arya, besides the fate with the faceless men, we've seen two things. We've seen her have the ability to change faces. Now, I know people done said, now I have a thing thinking that maybe Arya is going to take Sansa's face. And people said, oh, Tony Teflon, it can't happen because Sansa needs to be dead. But yet, you do remember that when Arya was pulling off the faces of Jack and Hagar, that her own face was on that face. Is that correct, Mo Genie?
For sure.
So Arya wasn't dead at that time, because her face was dead. Unless you want to say, now, if you want to go into the deepest rabbit hole, we can say Arya is really dead. And this is not even Arya, it's the faceless man. And that's the only way you want to go that deep. We can go that deep. But I'm saying, so the fact that we seen Arya look at a face from a faceless man that was her own face, that she was not dead, then I have to say that since they've done that in the show, that's going to be a possibility that Arya somehow can take Sansa's face. And we also seen Arya have the ability to catch motherfuckers and lie. That's the whole shit. Her whole training was her lying and the wave smacking her in the face. So I think her role is going to be that she's going to be able to catch Peter Baelish in these motherfucking lies. And from that, catching him in the lies, you seen Sansa already last season told him, I could have Brienne take you out right now. There'll be nothing you can do about it. It may be a similar situation, but not with Brienne, with Arya. Because Brienne, who knows? She may go off with Jon or something like that. Who knows? And Arya be the one holding it down. It's quite possible to go down like that. I like Mo Genie's prediction of Sweet Robin, Peter Baelish's child. Whatever y'all say in the chat, we shall see what it goes. We shall see how it goes. You know what I mean? We have something else going on out in this motherfucker. Mo Genie, a question.
Oh, man. Renee, shout out to Renee. Long time sub. She does the damn thing. She holds us down. Renee. She asked if Jaqen returns this season. do you think Olenna hired a faceless man?
If Jaqen returns this season, to what? Say that again, sir, please.
If Jaqen returns this season, do you think Olenna hired a faceless man? I think Renee's trying to say, like, did she hire a faceless man to take care of Cersei? I believe is what she means, because who else would Olenna kill other than the Lannisters?
Well, we see Jaqen, we have to see him with Sam in the Citadel. We have to. There'd be no other reason to see him unless he's coming back to assassinate Arya, and Arya ain't off the hook yet. There's no other place I could see him going. Now, that's a good point. Now, does she have the money? She must. From what we've seen, it don't cost a lot of money, right? Because that one chick was a backup actress, and she hired a faceless man to kill the main chick, right? So what the fuck does it cost to get one of these faceless? I thought it cost you a kingdom. But obviously, they were going to do, unless this chick was giving up the punani, or she was doing something, because she had the other lady Crane. She was getting her taken out. The faceless truck was already in. Arya was sent to kill her. So it may not. I don't know exactly how the show was running and how much it cost to hire these motherfucking faceless men. The way they got it going on.
You know what's funny? Talking about faceless men, I got a question for you, Teflon, from me. I was just reading A Feast for Crows this morning when I was at work. I just picked it up, felt like taking a glance over it because I hadn't picked it up in a while. And in the prologue of A Feast for Crows, we have the story of Pate the pig boy and the prologue story with the alchemist. And at the end, we find out that Pate the pig boy, who was one of the new maesters that was learning to be a maester, stole the key to the Citadel library and gave from an archmaester. He stole the key from an archmaester and gave the key to a faceless man. Do you believe we will get this story in season 7 where the faceless men are learning to kill the dragons?
It would have to be. I mean, if they're going to show them, that's the only plot that's left to show, is that plot, the hook-nosed man plot. Now, I see my man Zaim, he says that it's very expensive to hire faceless men, brother, and I believe what you're saying there, you know what I mean? But for show purposes, this chick was a backup actress. How much money could she have been making? I can't see her making a lot of them. It wasn't like this chick was playing down on fucking Broadway. She wasn't down here in Cats. This wasn't the musical Cats going on, right? This wasn't a top motherfucking situation going on, this motherfucker. She's in the off-Broadway show. The off-Broadway show, right? This ain't the main event. And yet she was still able to hire the faceless man. So I understand in the books it costs a lot of money, but in the show, it must not cost that much. You know what I mean? So if we do see the faceless men this season in any capacity, Jaqen H'ghar, he has to go to the Citadel and deal with Sam. And if he does deal with Sam, will Sam be murdered by the faceless men, or will Sam, the Slayer, be the Slayer of the White Walker and a Slayer of the faceless men? Is that going to go down in the books? Maybe the show, but definitely the book. Is that good? What do you think, Mo? Will Sam pull that off? And then we have another donation. After that, we're going to take that donation question. Thank you very much.
Oh, man. If they give Sam, the Slayer, the Pate the Pig storyline from the books, from the 4th book, in A Feast for Crows prologue, I will be very upset, because then that would mean Sam would die. So if at any point next season...
I'm saying, if not the Pate storyline, but we know that when Sam is in the Citadel, one of the first persons he runs into is Pate, when it's really faceless Pate. But that's who Sam runs into. He runs into faceless Pate inside that, so we know that. So will they give him that storyline, continuing what they did from the book, and just have the faceless man guy be in there, and not even do the full Pate the pig boy story? Just have a guy in there that's really Jaqen, you know what I mean? And not going to the whole Rosie situation and playing with this chick's toes and sucking on her toes with honey on them and stuff.
Oh, yeah. Then, yeah, I mean, that is a perfect story to give Sam. Okay, we understand what Sam's doing. They're a little bit late on in the books what Sam was doing in the Citadel and how he's been there for a while now, ever since the Maester died. So it would be a good story to give him is to give him, you know, the Spink story and the you know, the paint the pig lines and let us see the faceless men. It makes sense. It makes perfect sense. I could see D&D throwing every story that's been done at the Citadel in the books to Sam. It just is right. You know, you can't just have Sam over there reading books in the library and not learning anything. You know, you've already said that, you know, they might give him the story where he's the one that finds a cure for grayscale. They could do that later down the line, but the opening scenes with Sam should have something to do with the faceless men, in my opinion. Absolutely.
Yeah, so if they do that, I think it stretches out Sam's storyline. I think they really should do it, and hopefully they do. So, Mo, did you see who got that last donation and what that question was?
Yes, sir. Thanks for the donation, LEB. $5 for her. She asked, how will book Sansa and show Sansa be reconciled? They're in such different places right now.
Well, all right, that's a very good question. They are in such different places, so let's explain the places that they are so that people who haven't read the books, if they're watching this, don't understand. So we see Sansa in the show. If you're a show fan, you know exactly where she's at. She's in Winterfell. In the books right now, from what we've seen, and this is a sample chapter that has been released, she is in the Vale, and she's still under disguise of Peter Baelis's bastard daughter. But he has set her up right now. He's trying to marry her off to Harry the heir. So they had a big dance. Peter Baelis set the whole thing up. He put her in the right lighting. He put her in the right situation so she looked the most beautiful so that Harry the heir will want to be with her. Peter Baelis's plan is to force Sansa for her to marry Harry the heir. That's how she will get the veil. Then I think he plans on killing Harry the heir, marrying Sansa herself, and then he will get the veil. That's the plan. So what I think is going to happen here is that the rape scene that we've seen with Ramsay Bolton will happen to Sansa in the books with Harry the heir. I think he will be the one to rape Sansa while that goes down. So everything that we've seen with Sansa for this rape situation that we've seen with Ramsay Bolton, I think we see that same exact situation go down in the Vale with Harry the heir. I think that's how her story reconciles, and I think that's how it gels together.
Absolutely. Let's go to the next question. Kai Taylor asks, how good or bad do you think the Field of Fire is going to be this season? A lot of people are calling it the Field of Fire 2.0. I've seen a lot of videos on this recently. My opinion, the Field of Fire 2.0 is definitely happening. We've already seen all the CGI pictures. I haven't really seen too many pictures because I've been trying not to spoil myself, but this one picture slipped through the cracks. I saw Dany on a CGI dragon, and it looked like she was in a wartime scene. Now, it looks obvious that the dragons are going to kill a lot of people this season. It just, there's no other reason for her to be riding Drogon, and the Field of Fire is going to happen, in my opinion, just like what happened with Aegon the Conqueror. What do you think, Teflon?
I think it has to happen. I mean, in all honesty, though I hate it, this is one thing. If I could say something that I don't like about the books, that, you know, I love the books, but there's certain things I don't like about. One thing I would say I don't like about the books is that the history repeating itself constantly. I don't like history that repeats itself constantly. I think you should learn from history, so it shouldn't repeat itself constantly. But obviously, we're seeing this Field of Fire situation. We've seen it with them. We're definitely getting the Field of Fire situation going down here. The way that we have seen from if you watch my last video, and no one really watched that video. I don't know what happened. How that video just slipped under the cracks. I only got like 1,000 views. But if you look at that video, please go watch it. I don't understand why no one has, but please watch that video. You see it. I talk about the whole situation. They did the special effects behind the scenes, and I break down the special effects video. But what you can see in that is that they are focusing a lot on fire this season. A lot on fire. It's going to be a lot of shit lit on fire this season. more than ever. Then it will be. There will be more shit lit on fire this season than there will be next season. Guarantee it. Go ahead.
If you remember how they ended off Dany last season, she burns down that hut with all the cows in it. You think they're not gonna go straight to fire again next season? Like that is Targaryen. They used the trick twice now already of her being fire reborn, you know, fire made flesh, whatever you want to call it.
Mm-hmm.
And she's gonna use Drogon and do a Field of Fire 2.0, hopefully on the Lannister army. I hope they don't waste it on something silly like a mini battle with Euron or something like that. Hopefully it's against the Lannister troops.
No doubt, no doubt. Now I would like to say, Everman LT Giles asked for Tony Teflon and Don has on tap right here. Now, usually this would be on tap with some liquor bottles. This is on tap. It's the real people coming over here and we drinking and stuff. You know, we going to put the Ciroc up in there. You know, people know me. They know how I roll with the Ciroc. You know me. You know I got that. I'm coming with the Ciroc. I'll have the Hennessy on tap. But for display purposes, for show purposes, we got the Game of Thrones bottles of beer up here. So these are all the Game of Thrones Armor Gang Brewery bottles of Game of Thrones. Not all of them, but 4 of them right here. That's what we rolling with here. We got the Faceless Men here, right here. We got Fire and Blood right here. We got Valar Morghulis right here. And the other one, Fire and Blood. So that's what we got here. That's what's on there. My man LT Giles asked me that real quick. Thank you for the donations. We got some more donations. I seen somebody else say Tony Teflon is the man. Thank you very much for saying that. I just have to agree with you on that, no doubt about it. But Mo Genie, who hit us with the next donation? And what question did they ask?
Kid Funkadelic hit a donation for 5, but I don't really see a question here. I think that was that's just one for the tip jar.
That's what it is. Yo, good looks for that. You know what I mean? I really do appreciate that. It helps out a lot. Helps the channel out a lot. You know what I mean? That's how we do. We're going to take that $5. We're going to go to Crown of Thrones, and we're going to get somebody drunk on that for you. I promise. We're going to get, not that I need, listen, Tony Teflon, baby. This is not the, what is that show? What was that show, Bo, with the people getting drunk? The one we just did, we're going to do when we doing on the podcast.
The Bachelorette.
Yeah, this is not the goddamn Bachelor. I don't need to get nobody drunk and wasted to do anything like that. They ain't gonna shut down production in Memphis when I get down there. I'm taking Memphis over. I got peoples in Memphis, and we coming up in the Crown of Thrones. My peoples from Memphis is coming up in Crown of Thrones. We all gonna be up in that motherfucker. We gonna turn that motherfucker out, baby. And that's the goddamn right. And Tony Teflon is born on January the 8th. So you know the same day that Elvis was born that the Don was meant to be in Memphis. So help the Don get to the con. Donate to GoFundMe and get me up in that motherfucker. Straight up.
Absolutely. Now to the next question. We got all y'all's questions. We're going to answer every single one of them. We got the next one here from Misha Houston. She asked Tyrion, what will he do once he finds out about Marcella? Basically, Marcella's death.
Nothing. What the fuck is he gonna do? I mean, like, what's he gonna do? This is the same guy, Tyrion Lannister, that threatened Cersei Lannister to rape her son if something happened to Shay. Am I correct in this, Mo?
Absolutely.
So everyone acts like this guy Tyrion is such a great guy. He said specifically, I will see the same thing happens to Tommen, even the rapes. That's who Tyrion Lannister is. Don't believe this. This is what happens. It's Peter Dinklage, this guy, great actor. But he's acted this role so good that people think that this is really what Tyrion is. Tyrion's not a nice guy. He's not been a nice guy. He does nice. See, doing nice things doesn't make you a nice person. You know what I mean? And if you look at him as a whole, Tyrion Lannister is not a nice guy. Not at all. You know what I mean? So that's the way I feel about that. How about you, Mo?
I think Tyrion will be very disappointed because he is the reason that Marcella went to Dorne in the first place.
You are correct in that.
So he basically had a hand in the death of Marcella, and then but he got in trouble for having a hand in the death of Joffrey, which he didn't have a hand in. You know, so being the uncle that he is, you know, he'll be deeply, deeply mad about that. You know, and maybe this will be a storyline for Bran to find out what the hell happened to Marcella and go after the Sand Snakes. Because you know Braun's got to be in it next season, folks. You know my main man, Bran the Lone Wolf's got to have a piece of something next season. Maybe Tyrion will send him after who killed Marcella. Who knows, man?
Yeah, you know, listen, they're dead. They're dead. What's happening is the Sand Snakes are dead. Yara Greyjoy is dead. All these people are dying. They're not going to be there. It's not going to matter. I don't think Tyrion's going to get to the point where he's even going to confront them. They'll be dead way before Tyrion even has anything to do with it. Way before. Guaranteed Cersei Lannister, Euron Greyjoy. Check Tony Teflon's video I did over 3 years ago. Over 3 years ago, and I predicted and I told you that Cersei would marry Euron Greyjoy. I told you in that same video that Cersei would win the trial by combat. And I also told you that she would name Qyburn as her hand of the queen. All things that we've seen happen in the show. Now, as I said back in the day, I told you that it's going to be obvious now to see that she's going to hook up with Euron. But if you look at the time when I did that video, it wasn't obvious. No one had ever said that. That guy's got to come with something to prove his loyalty, his worth to Cersei. That is his proof right there. He's going to capture them, bring them to Cersei for Cersei to kill. And that's going to be like his marriage gift to her, just like how Drogo and all that with Dany. That's the way it's going down without that. So don't think that it's going to come into play with Tyrion Lannister and Cersei at all for Marcella. He may feel bad a little bit, but in the show, but in the books, I don't think he feels anything.
Okay, jump to the next question from my good friend Renee. Will there be a Rhaegar and Lyanna flashback scene next season? There was no mention or sighting of a Rhaegar-like actor yet on Twitter or social media on set during filming. Do you think Rhaegar will be there, Teflon, next season?
I would think if they're going to do it, well, let's put it like this. George R. Martin said that the reason why they're not doing a Robert's Rebellion sequel is because all that's going to be taken care of in the show. So if he says that, the only thing that's left to be taken care of is Harrenhal. So you have to show a Harrenhal. I think you've seen Jon Snow's mother last season, so now you see Jon Snow's father this season. So that's where I think it goes down. Next question someone asked real quick here is, when is there going to be the next A Wolf with Dragon's Blood video of Azor Ahai? I know I did one part and I'm supposed to do more. I'm bad at that. I'm catching up. But the next part will be the Nisa Jon Snow situation that goes down there. Now, I had another YouTuber that I'm friends with, and I asked this lady to do something for me, but she is very busy, and that's why she hasn't gotten it done. But so I'm just going to have to do it myself, or it would have been done already. So I was waiting on someone, but they're very busy. They're blowing up right now. You know what I mean? So they got to do their own thing. So I'm just going to get that done on my own, and then I'll put that video out for you next. But I'm probably going to do from this talking right now. I put a video out today, but it got flagged for copyright, so I didn't put it up there. But I already had one out there ready. I'll probably redo that video, get the copyright strikes out, put that up there. And then I'm going to do the video, and I'm going to announce it right now, that what if Arya Stark is really dead already with the face? I'm going to go through that whole situation because it's quite possible she could be already dead. I'm going to explore if Arya Stark has already been killed by the faceless men and it's somebody else in Arya Stark's as Arya Stark's face. We shall see. I'm going to do that video after that.
That's definitely a Teflon knowledge drop video I've got to see. If Arya's already dead, man, then it's gonna be like the Sixth Sense. Like, do you see dead people? You know what I mean?
I mean, that's the only way. That's the only way to think about it. Is if she could be dead. If you want to go by the notion that in order to wear somebody's face, that person has to be dead. And we've seen a shot already in the show of Arya Stark pulling off faces of someone and her face being on that person's face. That means she's already dead. Now, we know that when you put a face on, you get some of these person's memories. So it's still quite, I shouldn't even be saying this stuff. I should say it's a video, but I'm still going to say it still should be possible if it's a faceless man to act like Arya, because they would have some of that person's memories. It would have Arya's memories from wearing her face. That's the way it is shown in the books, that you get these people's memories from wearing their faces. And sometimes you get lost in those memories and you start really believing that you're this person. That's why you have to be trained to do this. So we're going to go through that. We're going to take care of that. And we're going to see what's good in that video and stuff like that. People in the chat saying, I don't think she's dead, or the wave. Someone says, I don't think the wave is dead. We see the gray area is in the building right now. What up, Shorty? Thank you for stopping by. We see my man Meatball. Is that Bally or Balls? That's Meatball, right? Meatball. I thought it said Bally, like back in the day with Curse Blow. My man Meatball's in the building. You know what I mean? He's chilling up in here. Thanks for stopping by. Sir Hunt's review is in the motherfucking building. He's been in this building for a little bit. You know what I mean, Sir Hunt? And I'm telling you, I had to do something. I have to be on Sir Hunt's channel. He has asked me to be on the show, but as I said, I was moving in the time and stuff like that, so I couldn't do it. But now that I'm established, my next video that I am not on my own channel will be on Sir Hunt's Reviews channel. Guaranteed. I'm not going to do anything until I can get to his channel, out of respect to him, because I told him I would do it. So I'm going to get on that man's channel and stuff like that. So I'm definitely going to do that, whether it's karaoke or whatever. I'm going to get on that and we're going to rock that and we're going to get that done. So Sir Hunt, holla at your boy.
On Renee's question, if anybody wants to hear what I think, yeah, I believe Rhaegar and Lyanna will have a flashback next season. Definitely gonna happen. I mean, it's obvioso, super obvious that they're gonna have some sort of flashback, whether it be, you know, the fight at the Trident with Robert, or, you know, the tourney at Harrenhal. One of those things is gonna happen. It just has to give the audience a backstory on what the hell Rhaegar and Lyanna were doing and how they're Jon Snow's parents. Absolutely. They're definitely.
Yeah, everyone cares what you say. That's why you're here, man. That's why you're here, because people care what you say. I have a quick question. We're going to answer this real quick. Has Bran Vision Mirror naked yet? You know, I would have to think so. I would have to think so. You know, because why not? He's been through a lot of shit with her. So I would think so. You know, I've seen chicks in the store, and I've seen them naked in my head just walk right by. You know what I mean? And the best thing about visualizing people naked is that you always visualize the best. You never visualize the bad shit. If it's a hot chick, you always think it's perfect, right? You always think everything is where it's supposed to be, and there ain't no dimples here, ain't no pimples here. It's all great. And so I would think he had to pull that off. There's no doubt about it. I said before that in the video, and people got mad at me and laughed at me and said, this is impossible that Bran wargs Hodor and rapes Mira. I think it was possible. Why not? I mean, Bran is the Obama fucking nation. If we're going by what Vlad Sixskin said, and that's all we had to go on. Now, we don't know if that is the true code for wargs. We don't know. We know this is what Vlad was taught. So we don't know what the true code is, but Brad has broken every rule of warging there is. He's not got anything right. Every rule that there is to be broken, he has. Eat of a flesh of a man. He's done it. Only thing he hasn't done is have sex as in the wolf. That's it. Anything else you name, Bran has already done. Taken over a human being, the biggest abomination of them all. He's done it and loves to do it. So Bran is not this great guy that everyone thinks he is. This little boy has been pushed out the window. He's going to save the world. Bran is sinister. Something else going on with Bran.
Definitely, definitely. You know, Bran has got that frost scale. Don't forget, folks.
Frost
Bran
scale.
got frost scale. He's got frost scale. If y'all don't know what the hell frost scale is, you can find out in my playlist. It was probably one of the first videos I ever did. Frost scale.
Straight up. That's right. I said it. I said it. Will Bran walk in the Hodor and rape Mira? I said it. Yes, I did. You can get mad at me all you want for saying it. But I'm saying it's a possibility. There's a possibility there. Because think about it, Mo Genie. Let me ask you, Mo. Say you was in a wheelchair, right? You a man in a wheelchair. There's this hot chick that keeps coming around. You're in love with her. But you can take over somebody else's body. You heard the saying, I wouldn't fuck her with your dick. But there could be a saying, I would fuck her with your dick. You know what I'm saying? So I'm saying it could be a situation like that going down. You know what I'm saying? It could be something like that.
For sure. Let's hop on to the next question. We got a good one here from Zim Solomon. Zim asks, what's future for Benjen Stark? Is he going to die?
Okay, give you your opinion, Mo. I'll come on second on that one.
Benjen, pretty much, in my opinion, will probably die at the Battle of the Wall this season. It'll probably be the last episode. Benjen Stark will probably do an Ex Machina when the wall's about to come down, when the Night's King rushes the wall, and Jon Snow and Tormund and whoever else is going to fight him at the wall. They're going to clash, and Benjen is going to save the day. He's probably going to save Jon Snow's life. And then, you know, and then he's going to officially die. Officially die. He's not going to be a white anymore. He's not going to be none of that. He will officially die at the hands of the Night's King, saving a Stark.
It's all right. It sounds good. First of all, let me give a shout out to my man Quentin Gilliam, my motherfucking man 50 motherfucking grand, my man Don the Cracking Wit in the building, my other fucking man 50 grand. Thank y'all for joining us out in this motherfucker. You know what I mean? Love to see y'all here and all that. You know what I mean? There's no doubt about it. Mo, I have to agree. Oh, whoa. AU motherfucking pack mules in the building. You know, it's just setting me off. All these people coming up in here, it's making me forget the question and stuff. But what up to all my people up in this motherfucker? Happy to see y'all up in here. Did a show with AU Pack Mule. It's on my channel, but it's AU Pack Mule show. So please check that out. That live stream had a lot of fun doing that. So I know it gets a little blurry and stuff like that. And if my thing does get a little bit blurry tonight, just let me know. I know how to fix it. Finally figured that motherfucker out after all this time, but I have figured that out. Now, what was the goddamn question? Goddamn it, I forgot. I'm drinking.
How will Benjen Stark die next season?
All right, so in these books, Benjen Stark isn't dead. He's not cold hands either. We know this is fact. He is not cold hands. Benjen Stark in the books is hiding in the lands of always winter. He went to the Haunted Forest. It's known that no one knows the Haunted Forest more than Benjen Stark. If you look at the Haunted Forest, what's it connected to? It's the land of always winter. So that's where Benjen Stark is right there. That's that. Now, in the show situation with Benjen Stark, will he die next season? He has to die next season. There's no other reason for if they show him. If he's in this season, I think he is in this season, then why keep him? What else is he going to do? Now, we have a situation that we see happen with Beric Dondarrion that we haven't seen happen in the books. We have the Lady Stoneheart situation. We have a transfer of the Kiss of Life situation. We haven't seen a Kiss of Life situation. It's quite possible, not saying it's going to happen, But it's quite possible Benjen can be part of this kiss the life situation, that he could be doing that for somebody else, that he could give whatever is left of his energy to someone else to keep them alive or some situation like that. Without a doubt, Benjen Stark's got to go. There's no other reason for him to be around, actually. You know what I mean? He shouldn't be. They had to have him around to close the story because Jon Snow goes to the wall because of Benjen. He's looking for Benjen. They had to close that gap. They closed the gap with him already, saying that he's half white and everything else. George R. R. Martin has said in the note to the publisher when she asked, when she had an underline about Cold Hands, is this Benjen? He said specifically no. They gave him that role of Cold Hands in the show. And if you look at Teflon TV's video, Cold Hands, before that even came out in the season, I predicted they would do that. In fact, I predicted that whole fucking episode, except for the hold the door part, fucking verbatim. Check it out if you don't believe me. I guarantee you I'm right on that. 100% I predicted the whole episode. But that is what's going to have Benjen is out of here. There's no reason for Benjen to be around anymore. He's got to go. Anyone who's not dealing with the White Walkers or dealing with the rebuilding of the Seven Kingdoms after is dead this season. Period.
Yeah, and speaking of Benjen, really, most people just want to know where the hell he's been this whole freaking time. Anyway, nobody really cares if he dies or lives. People want to know how he turned into basically a white. You know, LT Giles, shout out to LT. He had one of the sickest, you know, theories I've ever heard back in the day. You know, like a year ago, he was telling me that he thinks that Benjen was in the Night King's cave and he was in his ice cell. You know, and that's how it'll show up in the books that Benjen got, you know, scooped up, ranging, and he's been in the Night King's ice cell all this time. You know, the show will have to address it, but it is what it is. I hope we answered your question.
I'd say that's a great theory from LT Giles. And ladies, man, please check out his channel if you haven't. He comes up with things like that. Listen, I'll tell you straight up, when it comes to like knowledge of the books and remembering shit and stuff like that, I take LT Giles over just about anybody in the game, man, when he's on this game. Because LT Giles knows his shit, man. Don't sleep on that, man. He's just not another pretty face out there. All right? He knows his shit. But that's a great theory, and I think it's quite possible. As I said, I think Benjamin Land's always with it. Whether he's locked up or not, who knows? But I think that's a great point that he could possibly be locked up in the ice cell.
Yeah, next question is from the Night King. Night King asks, do you guys think we'll see Daario again? If so, will he betray Dany or help her?
No need to see Daario again. That dude got, listen, he got left. You know, not only did he get kicked to the curb, it's worse than kicked to the curb. He got curb stomped. You know, she was just like, all right, I had fun with you, son. I got to go. You're staying here. You stay here, hold this down. I'm out. Period. And the whole thing was, he was trying to act like when he was with Jorah, like he wasn't pussy with. He was acting like she didn't put that whip appeal on him. He wasn't acting like that babyface situation. He was acting like, oh, Jorah, you know, she's a wild woman, Jorah. I don't know if you can handle her. He acted like he didn't care. But when she was like, yeah, you got to stay, he was like, really? I got to stay. I got to stay here. I can't come with you, please. I got no more of that Targaryen tale. Nope. No more of that Targaryen tale. Stick with what you got over there. No need to bring that man back. Didn't like the second Daario. Don't know how I felt about the first Daario. Didn't really feel any way about the first Daario until the second one came around. The first Daario just looked like he had an STD. Did he not, Mom? Is that bad to say? Can you look at someone and say you think that person looks like they have an STD? I mean, I'm gonna say he just looked like he had one. It's so body image. It just looked like he was just holding the monster or something inside him.
It's a possibility. I mean, I don't know. I mean, a lot of people think that that Jorah's got some sort of grayscale STD now. I mean, I don't know, man.
All right, I'm going to switch the mic quick because I do believe that's how I fix the problem. All right, so the problem should be fixed as I switch the mic up right there. How is this sounding to you, Mo? Is it sounding breaking up, or am I good here?
It's better now.
All right, good. If it gets down like that, if it was ever like that, you just gotta let me know because I know how to get that done. But someone said genital grayscale. That's terrible. That's terrible. No static right now. Nice and clear. The chat says it's clear. All right, good. That's what it is. All right.
Next question. Renee asks, speaking of kiss, was the Yara Ellaria trailer kiss the kiss of death? People that kiss Ellaria tend to end up dead.
What do you think, Mo?
I don't know. I mean, I've always thought that Yara was gonna die this season anyway, and I never considered her a character that would live long. You know, a lot of people already predicted she would die by the hands of her uncle Euron this season. Will it be the kiss of death? You know, because she kissed her. I mean, possibly. I just definitely know Yara's not surviving till the end of the season. You know, there's going to be a redemption arc for Theon Greyjoy this season, and it'll probably play out with the person he loves the most, the person that's around the most, his sister Yara. Something will happen where Yara will die, and Theon will be the one to get revenge on her killer and redeem himself before he, in turn, gets killed himself.
No doubt about it. I don't think that it was a kiss of death. I think she's going to die. I think they're both going to die. I think it's going to be at the hands of Cersei. I just don't know if she would agree to do anything like that. And I just don't know if this chick is just holding poison on her lips like that all the time. You know what I mean? To keep it like that. No, Cersei's got to kill them. She's got to kill them both. That's the only way it's going to go down. That's the only way to make Theon feel guilty. He has to do something to allow her to get captured. He's got to fuck up somehow, freeze up somehow, and allow her to get captured. Only way for him to feel truly bad is if she is killed, not committed suicide. You know, I can't see it being a situation like that. Who gets to commit suicide and get out the game? Not many people, especially main characters. I think they both, all of them, the Sand Snakes, and Yara's got to be killed by Cersei Lannister in the mountain. She's got to have some wins. You got to give Cersei some wins before she takes that big L. You know what I mean? And I think that would be her final wins that she gets, is taking them out.
For sure. All right. Next question from Big E, longtime listener. Big E, shout out to you, man. Thanks for being here. Will Melisandre arrive at Dragonstone before or after Dany arrives?
It's really hard to tell. With the picture we see, we know that she's there. It looks like Jon Snow and them are arriving. So I think she's there before that they arrive. I don't know if she's even hiding there, and Dany even knows that she's there from the way that the vantage point of the picture from the trailer that they show. She's very high up there, and she's looking down. I think she's there way before they arrive. What do you think?
I'd like to see, Melisandre there, like because they're gonna be showing Dany the way they showed Stannis at Dragonstone. They're gonna show Dany brooding over the big Targaryen map of the world, and it would be dope to have Davos and freaking Melisandre on either side of her, giving her some knowledge, man. Giving her knowledge, just like, they gave certain knowledges to Stannis. I mean, this is Dragonstone. It would just seem right for people that have been at Dragonstone to be surrounded around Dany.
No doubt about it. My man Big E said a big L is coming soon. Speaking about Big L, I got to say, hey, yo, you heard my single. I heard you brought a brand new song. You bet you heard the shit is hot. Then they told you wrong, crap, nigga. You ain't got a chance at all. Big L Coleon to advance for y'all. You gonna leave it like that, my man Big L. Rest in peace. Big L, one of the greatest rappers, MCs of all time that people don't even know about. People don't know about Big L. Big L from the Bronx. If you like hip-hop music and you don't know, look up Big L. And you will hear people's beats that they made hit songs off of and they styles that came from Big L. You know what I mean? Straight up. Rest in peace, Big L from the Bronx. You know what I mean? That's the way it is. All right. So Mo, do we? I know there's some picture situation. Do you have any of these pictures going on? Or are we gonna just keep running these things right here? We can keep running this.
We only have like 2 or 3 more questions, so we'll do those at the end. We really did this video so we could do questions and look at some of the new pictures from the season. Let me do a screen share real quick while I pull these up.
No doubt. I'm gonna put it so that it locks on your screen, so that we can get that. So you let me know when you're ready to do that, and then we put them up there for you.
All right, can you guys see my screen right now?
There you go. You locked up there.
All right, we're on Watchers of the Wall right here. Watchers of the Wall pictures, June 12th. Headline is Update, Bran, Sam, Gillypod, and others star in the new Game of Thrones Season 7 picks. First we got Sam. How do you want to do this? You want to like talk about each picture separately, or how do you want to do it?
Either way you wish, you know what I mean? We see the picture, we can look at the picture and go through it and talk to these people about it. Any way you want to rock it, Mo, it's all up to you.
Okay, first picture, we got Sam here in the Maester's robes. We obviously know he's becoming a Maester. It's done and dusted. He's at the Citadel. What do you think of this first picture, man?
Well, you know, we got a bunch of books in this man's hand that we see from Samuel Tarly. You know, it's no doubt about this man's going to he's going to cure grayscale in the end when it's all said and done. That's his role for the books and everything else. Whether it goes down with him and the Valyrian steel, I don't know how that's going to go with it. Maybe he finds a way to make Valyrian steel, but in all honesty, I don't see them having anyone who could forge it. So I don't really think that is really the biggest importance for him. I think the biggest importance for him is grayscale. And I think that quite possibly maybe this cure for grayscale has something to do with the others somehow, to take them out or do something like that. But I think that's what it definitely is, the grayscale cure plus the Azor Ahai prophecy.
Yeah. All right. Second pick, we got Beric Dondarrion, obviously still not dead. This guy's still around. The Ginger Man himself. This looks like they're headed to Winterfell, man. What are you thinking?
It's got to be. I mean, you look, you could see all the snow, especially in the background. You see, it looks like the Hound and his bunch of groups back there in the background. I think the Hound is right next to him, right? That little cloth right there to the side of him. The Hound, yep, there you go. So the Hound is right next to him, as I predicted, without even seeing the picture. The Hound is right next to him, riding shotgun. I think that the thing that I did a video on it, and I did a video on everything, but I just recently did a video. You can see straight up, and it says a point that everybody missed, but I put it out there because I'm done. You can hear it. Beric Dondarrion says right to him, "The Lord of Light allowed you to beat me. Why?" There's a reason why the Hound is still alive. There's a reason why the Lord of Light allowed him to beat him. There's something else the Hound has to do, and I think that is the real question to the story. Why is the Hound still alive? Beric Dondarrion has died in the books already, therefore he's a dead man in the show.
I'm gonna drop a doozy number 2.
There we go.
Sandor has joined the Lord of Light.
You're saying that he is a soldier in his army.
He is a soldier in his army. I'm feeling it. Doozy number 2. That's a doozy of the day, folks.
Straight up. Doozy of the day by Mo Genie, baby. Take that to the bank.
Absolutely. It just looks right. I mean, it just, the dude, Dondarrion said, the Lord of Light is not done with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
It is what it is. Might have to do a video on that one. Got me the chills right there with the doozy of the day.
There we go. We getting Mo Genie back. He back in. He feeling it again. He back in this bitch.
Oh! All right. Next picture is Sam brooding over some books. I know you had a prophecy. I know you had a theory that he's gonna learn to cure grayscale, man. What do you think he's learning right now?
No doubt, this is definitely something to do with the grayscale. I think Gilly is going to be the one. As you've seen, and people see the picture of the book with Gilly reading the book. They have translated that, and they've said that that is exactly the World of Ice and Fire chapter, the book that we have, actually that we own. That she's reading verbatim from that book, the Azor Ahai prophecy. So I think that when you look at the whole situation, the people who have learned to read, the people who have been taught to read by Shireen Baratheon, everyone she taught to read that's got to have something to do with reading has to come into play, right? That's the reason why Shireen teaches them to read. We've seen it already with Davos. When Davos was taught to read by Shireen, Davos is the one that gives Stannis the note on Melisandre, the note about what's going on in the long night and everything, not the long night, but what's going on at the wall, and gets him to go out to the wall. That was her. That's the reason why she taught him how to read. We have not seen the reason why she taught Gilly to read yet. So I do believe that Gilly will stumble upon something else, and that is the reason why. They have to have that play out. Rest in peace, Shireen Baratheon.
It's a beautiful thing if Sam's like the one that teaches her to read, and then she's sitting there in the library at the Citadel, and she just stumbles upon like a prophecy or like some sort of book, like a shy, like Magics and Mystics of a Shy. And she just reads this chapter where it says, how to kill the cold ones. And Sam's like, how to kill the cold ones? This is how you kill the White Walkers, Gilly. And boom, they solved the equation, bro.
Exactly. That's how it should be going down, man.
For sure. True to form, looks like Sam in this one is doing some sort of surgery. I think that's a piece of meat that he's weighing in the background. Looks like he's got some sort of apron that like a butcher would wear. He's doing some butchering.
Yeah, so this could actually be going on with the grayscale situation. We see a lot of blood going on here. Maybe, I mean, we've seen what Qyburn did with the mountain type situation. I think it could be a situation like that that helps cure the grayscale. It could be something done like that. But, you know, it looks like he's probably experimenting on Jorah. You know, we've seen in the book, I'm going to go with the book situation with Victorian Greyjoy with the bloodletting of his hand when his hand was infected, and it kept getting the blood and the pus coming out of it, and they kept doing that with the Dusky Woman. I think it could be a same situation type thing going on here with Jorah Mormont's hand.
For sure. Okay, we already saw that picture, and then we've got Gilly in Old Town reading a book. Yep. So she knows how to read. She's definitely reading the tablets and manuscripts at the Citadel. She obviously they wouldn't have a picture of her with a book in her hands unless she's probably reading it. Mm-hmm. And I could see her stumbling on the chapter, How to Kill the Cold Ones. And it just play out, man.
I feel you. I think definitely something can go down like that. That or the Azor Ahai of prophecy.
All right, next picture here. We've got Bran. Bran in his homemade wheelchair, getting moved and maneuvered probably by Mira. What do you think is all going on here, man? This is the beginning. They probably still haven't reached Winterfell yet.
Yeah, how the hell did she pull this motherfucker around? I just don't know how she has the strength to pull him through this fucking snow. You know how hard it is to pull somebody through snow? It's just throw snow. If it's packed, then yes, I can understand it. But if it's not packed snow, it's hard to pull shit through that motherfucking snow. This chick has got fucking legs on her like a Clydesdale or something. I don't know. Something is going on here with her. But he looks like he's looking up in the photo, so it must be that he has reached the wall and he's looking up at the wall at this particular time.
You remember them old 1990s Budweiser commercials with them big old Clydesdales?
Yes, sir.
Bran's getting pulled by a Clydesdale, man.
She's got to have legs like that. Pull his ass around. He's a big motherfucker. It's a long. I'm gonna say he's big, but he's long. He's lanky. You know what I mean? I mean, Hodor. Listen, the actor that played Hodor, he took his ass right off his back real quick.
Sure.
This shit ain't working though, boy. I ain't having this motherfucker's nuts on my back. All right? No, none of that shit. Goddamn, put that motherfucker in a wheelbarrow.
Oh man, I'm surprised we haven't brought up Brienne or Pod in this whole little video of ours. Looks like Pod here might be inside of Winterfell's gates. I mean, they did leave the Riverlands. The last we saw of Brienne and Pod was in the Riverlands when they were at where were they at?
Yeah, they were in with Jaime Lannister coming back from their situation dealing with the Blackfish. I think that's the last time we seen Pod.
Yeah. So Brienne and Pod probably had to sneak into the north. Probably had to smuggle themselves into the north with the battling going on in the Riverlands, and probably hopped on the train with Beric Dondarrion and the Hound. They probably caught a ride with them. I can easily see that happening because Brienne and the Hound already fought each other. This would be a great scene to get them back into scenes together again after they've already fought each other. And Brienne probably thought he died when she pushed him off of that hill or that mountain. So they're probably going to go to Winterfell, and it is what it is.
Yeah, he looks a little disheveled in this picture. You can see it looks like he's got that situation where if it was a t-shirt and he was wearing as the overcoat, it would look that was the neck of the t-shirt, that would be pretty stretched out the way it's over there to the side like that. It's a pretty big ass neck. If you ever have a t-shirt with a stretched out neck like that, please don't wear that. All right, don't rock like that. I seen a chick come in the club like that one time. Thought it was disgusting. Anyway, besides that situation, I would say that he looks a little disheveled. He looks a little concerned in his face here.
It says right there underneath the picture, Daniel Portman as Podrick Payne in Winterfell. So he's been there.
Yeah, so obviously these people just giving shit away. All right, he's in Winterfell. It looks like Winterfell, but he looks a little like concerned there. What's going on there? Look at his face. His face looks like he's like staring at something like, huh? Like he can't believe what he's seeing, or he just got his ass kicked sparring, or some situation like that. Maybe he sparred with Arya Stark and she whipped his ass.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Next picture here. Lady Mormont Bella Ramsey at Winterfell. Now, is this a picture from last season? Look at Peter Baelish in the background in the same spot that he was in this season. Are you sure these are new pictures?
These are new pictures. I think we're dealing with the same situation. As I said before, a high-stakes situation dealing with the North. I think this is the high-stakes situation dealing with castles and who's going to take over what. They killed a lot of people last year, Jon Snow. Who's going to take over the Dreadfort? Who's going to take over for the Umbers? Who's going to do these things? I think that's what they're dealing with in these pictures.
Yeah, and Misha Houston said they got to give Pod a new outfit. Yeah, Misha, he's been rocking that same damn outfit for 7 damn seasons now, 6 damn seasons. They got to give that man some new armor.
Exactly, you know what I mean? Especially with the man's dick game is that vicious. You know what I mean? When a man's got skills like that, you would think they would hook him up with something. But he's rocking the same old shit. I mean, he's had that shit since the Battle of Blackwater. The same shit since the Battle of Blackwater. I mean, it seems like everybody else has gotten bigger in the show, but Podrick Payne is the same ass size.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so we're looking at the news scenes here okay, at the bottom it says Sophie Turner as Sansa Stark, Kit Harington, Liam Cunningham, yada, 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 Robert Glover in Winterfell. So this looks like, and look at Brienne. Brienne is right there, right next to where you could see of Kit Harington's eyesight. You can see that big beauty sitting in the front seat. So obviously this is the high stakes scene that's going on in the North. I'm assuming that they know that the Night's King is coming. I mean, what are you thinking that this scene's about?
It's definitely about whatever's going on with these houses and how they're going to get dragon glass and how they're going to defeat the Night's King. It's got to do with all those situations all wrapped up into one. I got to get the Dragonstone. We got to settle these houses, blah, blah, and that's what this whole situation is about.
Yeah, that sounds about right. For Brienne to be there as a woman among equals, you know what I mean? This is a major scene right here, man. Brienne is she's in there like swimwear. You know what I mean? She's hearing everything.
I think that, her ass looked nicer than I would have suspected when she stood up in that fucking tub. If that was the actress that played her or a body double, I don't know. But either or, it looked better than I would have ever thought it would have looked.
Absolutely. Okay. Next here, we got my main man, Tormund Giantsbane of House Giantsbane, ladies and gentlemen. House Giantsbane. Yes, you heard it here. It's happening. It's happening. Kristoff Hivju as Tormund Giantsbane in Winterfell. So obviously, Tormund is Jon Snow's right-hand man now. He's the main dude. He's probably going to have the last hearth. Or he's probably going to have, what's it called?
The Dreadfort?
The Dreadfort. He's probably going to have the Dreadfort. Probably going to be the new lord of the Dreadfort or the last hearth. It's his, man. It's his. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens this season.
I think I agree with you on that 100%. I mean, when you said it, it's quite possible. When you first said it, I agree with it. It's quite possible that he could be the next dude in mind. Why wouldn't you give him? This is a guy. Look at how many battles this motherfucker survived. If you look at all the battles he's been in and he's survived, and he's still the fuck here. The man deserves something after all that fucking beating he's taken and shit.
And I'm going to drop a third doozy of the day. I feel like Tormund might give away a daughter. He might do something to solidify himself to the Northerners to make it easier for them to accept him as a wildling. I just feel something's in the works, folks. House Giantsbane.
Yeah, he could be going for he could be the Karstark husband. They could give him that role. He could marry her, take over that fort. Who knows? It could be a situation like that. Could be anyone like that, without a doubt.
Show.
Right by my mic.
What's up?
No, go on.
Next picture here, we got Davos, Jon Snow, Sansa at the big table at Winterfell. In the same scene that we probably saw Brienne in there sitting with all the lords of the north. Something big is going on here, folks. Something major. Is it the Night's King is at their door? Is the Night's King coming and it's time to put in work? What if Bran gets there before the Night's King does and then they have a big reunion and then Bran tells them, yeah, the Night's King is coming. He's got 1 million soldiers. He's got ice spiders. He's got an ice dragon. He's got everything, John. What are you going to do?
Yeah, I think it's a little bit more peaceful time. They got drinks in front of them. I don't know what's in those cups, but I'm going to assume it's wine. The Night's King was running up on them. I don't know if they drinking like that. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a good picture. A lot of these pictures are focusing on Winterfell for some reason. Everything's on Winterfell. Show me something else, goddammit.
Here we got Davos and Jon Snow headed out with what looks like Winterfell soldiers. Definitely the Winterfell soldiers with that armor and the helmet, the Peabody helmets. They're going off to war, man. I mean, when we saw the season 7 trailers, obviously Jon Snow and a band of wildlings are headed up north. Do you concur with that?
Without a doubt.
So here, it looks like Davos might be rolling with Jon to go on that mission up north to the wall, most likely, probably to save Ed. This is what I'm saying. Dolorous Ed is in trouble, and Dolorous Ed sends a raven to Jon at Winterfell, telling him the Night's King is at my door. Johnny, come help me.
Yeah, Dolores said the dead man. Let's get that straight. And first and foremost, he's dead man.
I would think that probably most of the wildlings will die. You heard Melisandre say straight up in the books that the wildlings are a dying race. So that either means they're going to die out or they're going to have to convert to the normal side of society, and it dies out that way. But either way, the wildlings have to die out. So maybe Tormund comes over, takes over the Dreadfort, and then they're not wildlings anymore. Then that means they are a dying race. Or maybe they'll all be wrecked by the Night's King and the White Walkers. But without a doubt, Glorious Ed's a dead man. This picture right here could be Jon Snow and Davos heading to Dragonstone to treat with Daenerys Targaryen over Dragonglass. It could be a situation like that going down.
Absolutely. Now another character we haven't talked about in this video yet. Jaime at the Red Keep. Maneuvering. This is the scene that you see in the trailer when they show him and Cersei, I believe, looking over that big map. Am I right?
Mm-hmm. Without doubt.
So they're doing something strategic. You know, they're trying to look at the map. They're trying to look at their lands. They're probably looking at where they're going to be hit from when Dany lands on the shores. They probably already know that Dany's got a whole army coming after her from the seas. They probably got all their information. So they're planning. They're trying to be strategic.
He's a bitch. I said it, goddammit. What a bitch. And even in this picture, when you look at him, he looks like a bitch just standing there. Look at him. He looks like his shoulders are slumped over. He looks defeated. And it looks like Cersei is trying to pep him up. Like, keep your fucking head in the game, bruh. The fuck are you doing? But it looks like he just looks like he wants to just give in. Hey, let's just give in to the demand, Cersei. Let's just give in and go back to Castle Rock. That's what it looks like he wants to do in this picture. I can't stand Jaime Lannister. Can't stand him.
And speaking of the Lannisters, I absolutely think we're going to see Casterly Rock this season. Casterly Rock is in the cards. They've got to show us the Lannisters' castle. It's about time. We're freaking 7 seasons in now, and they still haven't shown us where they reside, man. And I mean, obviously there hasn't been a Lannister there for a point of view to show us that, but now with the movement going on at Dragonstone, I can see them showing us Casterly Rock, and it is what it is.
No, they have to show Casterly Rock. It definitely goes down. Who the hell said that? Thank you, Ruthless.
All right, next picture we got homegirl Dany touches the sand when she touches down in Westeros. Now, I like this. I like this scene here. She hasn't been in Westeros in a long, long time, and she's bending down to touch the ground, man. This is serious.
No doubt about, this is a classic sign of a type of picture of, of someone walking on the moon, or somebody who just discovered a land for the first time, or someone who has come back to a land that their ancestors had been on. I will tell you a story real quick, a personal story about me real quick that obviously I've told you before that Tupac is related to me by marriage, not blood, but by marriage. But his mom had came by, and she went by, she's in Lumberton, North Carolina, and I did myself too. We all signed a bunch of shells. We had shells and we signed a bunch of shells, and she took these shells for everyone in the family and then brought them back to Africa, the town that they were from, and then buried them into the sand. So I think it's a type of a situation like that. That was supposed to be an HBO documentary that did that. I don't know if that ever did show or anything like that, but that was supposed to go out like that. But that was what that was all for in situation. So I think it's kind of a situation like that going down with Dany touching, oh, my ancestors were here. I was actually born in these rivers, and now my feet, Targaryen's feet, had actually come back and touched the soil. Let me squeeze it a little bit.
Absolutely. Is Aegon the Conqueror reborn, and she's touching down, and of course she's going straight to Dragonstone, and it'll be sick if they show us the dragon pits from Dragonstone where where the old Targaryens used to keep their dragons when they would, you know, touch down in Dragonstone. So it would be amazing. Can't wait to see all that.
No doubt. No, so I'm real quick to Renee M. Someone said something about Ruthless in the chat, that someone's name is Ruthless in the chat. I thought she was talking to me like she knew me from back in the day, because when I first started rapping back when I was in elementary school, a little bit after elementary school, junior high school, she say my first rap name ever was the Ruthless Lover. So I thought when I seen that this book gave me a flashback of that. And I was like, do I know this person from back in the day? But evidently I don't. All right. That is what it is.
All right, next picture here is Dany, and what we're assuming is her arriving at Dragonstone.
Let's look at this picture right here. This is an hourglass ass we're talking about here, right? I mean, does she have a corset on or what? What's going on with this picture?
Definitely looks like a corset in the middle. You can see the glass. You can see the hourglass through that.
Because this is an hourglass ass. I don't know if Emilia Clarke, she got a nice ass. You see that when she was jumping up when she walked into the hot water, her butt cheeks shook a little bit. She had a little meat to it. Not a lot of wiggle in the crack of her ass. It was straight right down. You know what I mean? Sorry, ladies, I'm talking a little bit vulgar for you, but I'm drinking. But when we look at this goddamn picture right here with the hourglass ass, she definitely has an hourglass jumping off right here. And I don't know if we ever seen that before. It look a little thick in the thighs like that. I mean, it has to be a corset, Mo. What is it in the chat? Are we seeing a corset here or what? What's the chat saying about that?
She's looking like an elvish princess right now. She's looking like Orlando Bloom's sister from the Lord of the Rings movies right now, man. I mean, it is what it is.
No doubt about it. She definitely looking a little thick right there. You know what I mean? She looking like she doing something.
For sure. All right.
We got people in the chat saying Tony Teflon looks like Lloyd Banks. G-Unit. Not the first time I heard that. I think his lips are a little bit bigger than mine. Not by much, but just a little bit. But nah, she looked good in that picture, boy. There's no doubt about it. I think it's got to be the corset going on there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Here we got Emilia Clarke. We got Tyrion, Melisandre, Grey Worm entering into Dragonstone. So, of course, Tyrion's there. Tyrion's probably going to be the one giving her the history lesson on Dragonstone. You know, letting her know this is her ancestral home. Her ancestral forefathers built these walls to withstand attack from sea and land and yada, yada, yada. And you know you're going to get that history lesson. And Tyrion's the one to give it. It's a perfect scene, and I can't wait to see it.
No, I can't see how this is her arrival at Dragonstones when she has unsullied troops there standing with fucking torches in her hands up against the wall in positions. She would have had to be there before that to have them in this position, right? I mean, that's what I would think from this look at the picture. If these dudes are standing up against the wall with a goddamn torch in this, like, you know your spot, you had to be here before. But maybe it's the first time here. I don't think so. It seems like she would have had to been here before for that to go down like that. But she looks good as hell in these damn pictures. So she's working them goddamn boots, without a doubt. Working them boots.
These boots were made for walking, and that's what they'll do.
One of these days, these boots are gonna walk right over you. Nancy Sinatra, motherfucker. The Don knows. The Don knows.
Oh my God, we pulled out the golden oldies on y'all.
I'll tell you some people right here in the chat. You want to know? I know about music. If you know that song, "The Boots Are Made for Walking" by Nancy Sinatra, listen to that song, and I'll tell you a song that took that whole style and did it and was a hit song a couple of years ago, and that was X's and O's. My exes and O's, they love me and haunt me, whatever. If you listen to that song, the same exact beat, the same exact pattern is from Nancy Sinatra's "These Boots Are Made for Walking." They took the same rhythm, they put it in that song, changed the words around, and that's how she made that hit. You don't believe me? Listen to both of those songs back to back. I guarantee you'll hear it then. So you gotta do.
So it looks like that's the end of the newest pictures. Let me get up out of the screen share mode so y'all can see my pretty mug again. Yeah, that was really interesting.
All right. We back online. Back on these things. All right, let me put it so that it's just switching back and forth again. All right, we back up on it. So yeah, those pictures, you know, listen, they're gonna drop a lot of new stuff. We destined to see a lot more new stuff going down soon enough. You know what I mean? I'm gonna suspect that we get another trailer next week. If not this week, it'll definitely drop by next week, by next Wednesday. I think another trailer, and that'll be the last trailer before the season starts. But I think it'll drop next week by Tuesday. That's my prediction, that we'll get something else like that. But we here for the questions. We here for the people. We here for all your. All right, we see it right now. Ruthless Lieutenant. That's who it is. All right, brother. All right, my man. I'll see you up in there. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. We definitely, you know what I mean? We definitely getting that trailer. Trust me, we getting something else. It ain't just going to be that one and done situation. We going to see some more meat before this goes out. And I think the trailer going to drop next week.
Eric says trailer 2 drops tomorrow. It is known.
What? Who said that?
That'll be freaking crazy, bro, if they give us another trailer. They'll just be throwing bones to dogs out there if they do that.
Yeah, that would be crazy. I hope they do, and I hope because I ain't working tomorrow, so I'll be off tomorrow, so I'll be able to get that out as fast as possible. When you in a position that I'm in my channel, you got to get that shit out quick, bro. You know it, because everyone else getting their shit out. If you ain't first in line, then your shit gets on page 3. Because once people like Emergency Awesome and them drop their shit, they go into the #1 spot. Bop, bop, bop. #1 spot. They could drop their shit. New rock stars, they could drop their shit 10 days after that trailer come out, and they hitting the #1 spot. They getting the #1 spot.
That's why it's great to be at the top, man. That's the superstars right there.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out to Roars. Love her videos.
No doubt about it. Shout out to Raw. She got up there too, without a doubt. She gets up there, she gets to the front page too as soon as she puts her stuff out. She doesn't do a lot of trailer breakdown videos, though, I don't think. Once in a while, but just not like her forte. She does like a weekly thing for the Game of Thrones news, and she usually throws it up in there and stuff like that. But she's just not one of these people like trailer drop, let me drop this video real quick, breaking it down. She's not really a trailer breakdown person like that.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Like, this season coming up is going to be monumental. It's going to be major. It's going to be a lot of things that I hope a lot of loose ends are handled, man. Because a lot of loose ends got to be handled from last season. You know, we keep hoping and praying on Lady Stoneheart. I know Lady Stoneheart's not happening, but I'd love to get a taste. And I just noticed right now, there's 124 people watching the stream.
Woo-woo!
Shout out.
Yeah, straight up. I appreciate all y'all coming through, checking out Tony Teflon the Dime, my man Mo Genie, chilling in the chat, chilling here, watching this. You know what I mean? I'm gonna say this real quick. On Game of Thrones, not related. It's how quick does McGregor and Mayweather? How quick does Mayweather beat McGregor? You know, me and Mo, we got a podcast, a review chance. We just did this topic, so I'm not going to go too much into it. But as you said, that how quick does Mayweather beat McGregor? That is the key. Mayweather beats McGregor. He beats him and he beats him quick. I don't know how quick. Floyd's not a quick fighter like that, not a knockout puncher, but it's not going to be a challenge.
Y'all know my stance. I believe that, I mean, I don't want to give away everything we talk about in the podcast. I believe that Mayweather will not go after him. He's not going to go toe-to-toe with him. I won't say he'll run around him. You know, he might run circles around him, but he will maneuver. I don't believe that McGregor and him will go toe-to-toe. It'll be an hour-long, you know, chase fest. And, you know, don't waste your money on it is all I'm saying.
I hear you there. We got a question here from the Night's King. That is, we should go up to the top. I'm gonna take this one real quick before we go do the other ones because I think it's pretty interesting here. I want your opinion on this, Mo. It's from the Night's King, and he says, "I think Varys is not a eunuch. He's a bloody mama. He's just putting up an act." What do you guys think about that? What do you think about that, Mo?
If he's a bloody mummer, who would he be working for? I mean, he was working for the crown. He switched sides. If he was a bloody mummer, who's he working for? Is he working for himself? Is he doing it just to, take down?
I think he's saying, I don't know if this dude's from England or something like that. I don't know if he's saying he's a bloody mummer, like part of the bloody mummers in Game of Thrones. I think he's using the word bloody like they use it in England, like that's just the word bloody. Like he's a fucking mummer, like bloody means fucking maybe over there. Like he's a fucking mummer. Who the fuck, he's an actor. He's just acting. He's a fucking actor. I think that's what it means. I'm not sure. Maybe he can
I definitely think he's conning. I think he's conning people. I think he's conning Tyrion. Even I believe that he's gonna show his true cards when the season's done. Tyrion will be upset. He'll be like, "Why did you do that? Why did you do that, Varys? We were on the same team." And Varys will be like, "Yeah, we was on the same team, but we had different sights. We had eyes on different prizes." I could definitely see Varys doing that because that's what Varys does.
Yeah, this dude's got no dick. He's got no dick. He's got his shit chopped off. I don't think that there's any. It doesn't serve a purpose to say that he doesn't have a dick, and at the end he does. I just don't see where that fits in the story. So if we say that he does have a dick, what does that mean? It doesn't really mean anything. If you go through the whole Aegon Blackfire situation, I believe that Varys is a Blackfire. I believe that the reason why they say there's no male lines left is because his dick is chopped off. I think he was related to Illyrio Malpatis's wife, which is the last female line of the Blackfires, which is who I think that Fagon is. Illyrio Malpatis and Varys' sister, cousin, whatever's wife, son. So that's why I think it. I think that's also the reason why he shaves his head bald. It just doesn't make any sense for him to have a dick. If you're going to say you're not going to have a dick the whole show, and then all of a sudden you have a dick, your dick better be John Holmes. Right? You better be Ron Jeremy. Right? You better be Lex Steele. You better be one of these motherfuckers. You
better be Podrick Payne.
Podrick Payne, I don't know if it's his dick or his tongue, but something's working. Something's working. You have to be something. It would have to, if you're going to say that someone doesn't have a dick, and then they do have a dick, their dick has to be a horse. It has to be a reason for you to hide this situation. You know what I mean? He's got to be the human horse walking around this motherfucker. You know what I mean? It has to be a situation like that, or it makes no sense. So I'm going to say he doesn't have a dick, and he's a Blackfire, and that's why there is only a female line left.
We got a new body in the chat.
Who is this?
And they got a question. Nay Faust. She asks, we haven't seen Mira in any of the preview pics. Who do you think Bran will travel with in season 7? Will Howland Reed make an appearance?
No, we're gonna see Mira because she's gonna be dragging his big ass around. I think she does. I think it was already confirmed that she does make it back home. If she does make it back home, there's no reason not to see Howland Reed.
Howland Reed, enough is enough. They got to show us Howland Reed now, man. They got to get this over with. They teased us with Howland Reed last season, so they technically did show us Howland already when they showed the Tower of Joy scenes. So, yeah, but they got to give us more. You can't tease that without giving us more Howland, and it would make sense for him to show up and help Mira and Bran cross the wall. It would kind of make sense if you want to connect the dots.
Yeah, I would think they have to. I mean, they already showed him in the flashbacks and everything else. Why not show him again?
Ella asks, can Dany still have children, Teflon?
All right, so if Dany is not going to die, she survives this whole situation, then she has to have Jon Snow's child. That's the only way. Now we see some type of proof, her womb quickening again. We see the situation going down, that it's quite possible that she could have a child. I don't think Dany's going to survive, so I don't think she's going to have a child. But if she was going to have a child, it would have to be Jon Snow's child. What do you say about that?
I'm trying to think, is it possible for her to have like a metaphorical baby? You know, but I don't think so. She has to have a physical baby. I mean, doing the metaphorical thing, they already did that with Drogon and the other dragon, So now I think she, you know, because those are her kids, really. But I think she has to have a real child. And if anybody was gonna put a seed in her, the seed is strong. You know what I mean? And that is Jon Snow. It has to be done. Azor Ahai, the reverse Nisa. Tell him what it is.
Little Dick John. So we can call him Jon Snow, Little Dick Man, because it's been confirmed by Dan and Dave that Jon Snow really does have a little dick. They said that specifically. They said that they could not allow him to have everything. He had too much. So they had to give him a floor. So that is the floor that they gave him. Now, I told you this back in the day. I told you when Tormund was saying that he wasn't bullshit, that was a dead-ass truth. And you could see, and what this shows you, I'm going to tell you, what this shows you is that Dan and Dave are fucking petty. They're petty. They're petty enough to be like Kit fucking Harington. They're sitting home probably writing their shit. They're like, we make all this fucking money. We're the producers of the show. But Kit Harington gets all the pussy. Let's make him have a little dick in the show. Yeah, that's a good one, buddy. Let's do that. They did that. That's what they did. They dead-ass did that. So when you hear about other things that they did, like, I'll tell you that they fucked Stannis' character over because they didn't like him. Oh, no, they wouldn't do that. They just made a guy have a little dick. They would do that to Stannis' character, and they did do it to Stannis' character. This is their build-up. This is their makeup. This is what it is.
Yeah, I can get down with that. I think we got a couple more questions.
He says the little dick that was promised. You see, that just shows you a situation like that. Now, I'm not saying that's true about Kit Harington in real life. Don't know. I'm sure it's probably not. That's why they made it up about him. But you can ask the ladies in the chat. They don't care about that. If it was Kit Harington attached to that dick, they'd take that little dick. Now, not saying that the pool boy wouldn't get no play later on in life, but in the beginning, on the first night they with him, they would act like that dude's fucking, like he's the horse walking around there. They'd scream to the high heavens. You know, and that's just the way it is. I had that about this in my other chat, in my other feed I was talking about. I asked these chicks straight up, how many chicks out there fake orgasms with men? And a lot of chicks admitted they did. And I think a lot of chicks do be faking orgasms. I'm going to ask the chat right here. If you're a lady in the chat, not men. I'm not asking you this, men. We'll get you a question eventually. Men, ladies in the chat. Have you ever faked orgasms with a man before? Please put yes or no in the chat so we can see if women be faking this shit all the time for dudes. Because some of these women are outrageous with their screams. Like when Peter Baelish was with Liza, her screaming was too fucking outrageous. There's no way Littlefinger did that much damage. Impossible. All right, so we're going through the chat right here, and we got Nay. I wasn't gonna say these names, but we got a motherfucking hell Yes. We got Amber says, yep, we all have. Another chick says LMAO. You know what that means. You know what that means, goddammit. Let's see what else. Michael Houston says no. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Damn, that's bad. I don't know how if I would feel. I'd rather a chick fake it than say than just sit there like motherfucking like doing her nails and shit. You know what I mean? I'd rather go down. I'd rather get the faking and shit. That means straight up, straight the motherfucker up.
Yeah. Yeah, we got a couple more questions left. Yeah, I probably got about 10 minutes. Are you good?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good here.
Okay. Michael Smith asks, do you think Jon's cradle egg is in the crypts of Winterfell, Teflon?
I think the Jon's what?
Cradle egg. So basically, is there an egg in Winterfell?
All right. I know that's the customer Targaryens to keep a egg for the babies. I don't know if it was going on at that time when Jon was born. So I don't know. I don't know. Jesus Christ, this damn crypt is like the fucking magic box on fucking Magic Garden. It's got everything in there. It's got the harp, it's got an egg, it's got a sword, it's got everything in that motherfucker. I don't know. What do you think?
Say the question again. I couldn't hear you.
Do you think, it's Targaryen custom that they leave eggs in the cradles for the babies? Did Jon Snow have one?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is kind of funny. I don't remember reading about this. I mean, it's possible, but I feel like the crypts of Winterfell are strictly left for the swords and him finding Dawn down there. That just feels right to me.
I'm with you on that. It's got to be Dawn. It's got to be in there. Maybe the harp is in there. I would hope the harp would be in there. The harp is in there. Dawn is in there. I think that's enough. I don't know if they need anything else in there. Now, the armor, I had said that a long time ago that it would be Rhaegar's armor would be in there. But after the Forsaken chapter has come out and I've seen that I have to believe that that's the armor Jon Snow is going to get, the Valyrian steel armor.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
He said Jimmy Hoffa is in the crypts of Winterfell. It's quite possible.
Everything is down in the crypts of Winterfell, including Jimmy Hoffa, who killed JFK. Who killed JFK is down there.
It's at the crypts of Winterfell.
Who said that? Who said Hoffa was in the crypts of Winterfell?
I gotta look up and see that. Who said that? That was the Violet Messiah 666. We got Tupac is hiding in the crypts of Winterfell. Leave my family. Oh my God! We got everything's in the goddamn crypts of Winterfell. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. Oh my God! Tupac movie. Go watch the Tupac movie this week coming out. Support that movie, man. Please support that movie.
Oh man, that was a good one, man. Thank you for that one, Violet, because that right there, that was the kiss of death on me, man. Good God.
Someone said Al Capone's voice. Illy said that. I think a lot of people are too young to realize what Al Capone Vault is. So let me explain that to you real quick. This is how Geraldo Rivera got famous, actually. He had a special, I forgot what network it on, I'm going to say NBC. They found the vault from Al Capone, and they were going to open it live on TV. It was this big build-up. It was like a week-long thing that they were going to build it up. The show comes on. They have a whole hour-long special of how they're going to open up this vault of Al Capone. They opened up the vault and there was nothing inside of it. Not live on TV. Not a goddamn thing was in there. Zip, zero. But that is really Geraldo Rivera's claim to fame. That right there, and then when he got into the fight with the Ku Klux Klan on his talk show and got the chair thrown in his face and broke his nose. Those two things made
I don't even know why Geraldo is famous. I mean, I think he's famous because of that stupid mustache he's been rocking for 40 years.
Those are the two things that got him famous. Those are the things. First, the Al Capone vote, and then he got into the fight with the Ku Klux Klan on stage. Because before Jerry Springer and before all that, people didn't fight on talk shows. That was like one of the first ever fights that you've seen on live TV. And Geraldo got his nose broken because someone threw a chair across the room and caught him in the nose. After that, he started fucking Bette Midler and all these other people out there, and he got in there. But those are the two things that got him famous.
Meridian Mormont says, why the fuck would Dawn be in the crypts of Winterfell? Dawn's in Starfall.
All right, so let me explain that.
No, if you don't know.
Who said that? Who said that?
Meridian.
All right, so let me explain this to you. If George R. R. Martin, and you're going to use the quote, that's what people always want to say. They want to use the quote of George R. R. Martin saying that Dawn is in Starfall waiting for the next worthy person to pick it up. Is there anything else he could say without giving it away? And the answer is no. He has to say that. If he says anything else, Dawn's not there in Starfall, he gives it all away. The only way for him not to give it away is to say that it's in Starfall. So guarantee you it's not in Starfall.
When they showed us the Tower of Joy last season, they were showing you Ned Stark holding the sword for a reason. Ned Stark was taking that sword back to Dawn. The history and lore is that Ned Stark took it back to Starfall and gave it to Ashara Dayne. But no. We believe it's down in the crypts of Winterfell. That's what Ned Stark was leaving for Jon.
No doubt about that. I mean, everyone wants to say how honorable Ned was, and the story is that Ned took it back to Starfall. Yes, he could have taken it back to Starfall, but doesn't mean they accepted it. They could have gave it to him and had him keep it with him. If you look at my video, A Wolf with Dragon's Blood, I explain the whole reason why it's there. Please check out that video. I'm not going to go into it now, but check that video out. I explained the whole situation of Dawn, the whole situation of why Sir Arthur Dayne was at the Tower of Joy. All that, I explained that video. Please take a look at that video. But I do believe there's no doubt that that Ned Stark took that sword back to Winterfell with him.
Akil Brown's been asking this for a while now. Finally got to answer this. Any creatures in the lands of always winter besides the others and their beasts?
I mean, if you're talking about like ice spiders and things like that, then yes, they're there.
He might be talking about, is there an ice dragon? I mean, is there a white dragon, an ice dragon?
Ice dragon, no doubt about it. There's no doubt an ice dragon. No doubt ice dragon. No doubt. The Night's King will be on the ice dragon's back before it's all said and done. He has to be. Makes no sense for him not to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Just think about it like this, real quick. When you see any superhero movie, right? If you watch any superhero movie, especially the first movie out the gate when they come out with, or any superhero show, the first season out the gate, every time there's a villain, the villain has the exact same powers as the human. Am I right in this, Mo?
For sure.
If you look at all the movies, you look at the Flash, the Reverse Flash, right? You look at Superman, other people from Krypton. Look at anything. This is the way it always is in superhero movies. A person has the exact same powers. So if she has dragons, he's got a dragon. That's the way it's going down.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Um,
What up, Louisville in the house? What up, Louisville? I see you.
yeah. Let me take one more question before I skedaddle. Been enjoying my time here, almost 2 hours.
Yes, sir.
Thanks, Teflon, for having me on. You know, I love doing these, man. This is, this is what we do. You
No
know,
doubt about it.
super fun. Bernie Roosevelt asks, will Jorah earn his family's sword back this season? Meaning, will Jorah get back Longclaw from Jon Snow?
I mean, if there's going to be a Night's Watch after this is all said and done, then Jorah's got to be the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and he has to do it with Longclaw. So it all comes down to that. Is there going to be a Night's Watch when it's all said and done? If there is, then he's getting Longclaw back, and he's going to hold it down. Jon Snow is definitely getting that sword done. When he fights the Night's King, he's going to fight with that sword. It's not going to be Longclaw.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely like to see Jorah as the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch when it's all said and done. If there is even a Night's Watch when this is all done. Jorah getting back Longclaw, I've done a semi video on this where I do believe that Jon Snow will get Dawn. He'll pass Longclaw off to Tormund, though. That's what I said in my video. I said that Jon Snow would pass off Longclaw to Tormund.
Which would make sense because if you look at that situation, this is the sword that is supposed to be a bear. Tormund's known for fucking bears, so it's quite possible that he could get that sword.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. All right, man. I'm going to head out. You do
All
your
right.
thing. Thanks for
I'm going to hold it down for a little bit longer for y'all out here in the chat. I don't think y'all ready to go home yet. So we're going to chill here while Mo Genie bounces and stuff. We're going to chill and keep it popping.
Absolutely. I'll be on the next video. Me and Teflon have a bunch of podcasts coming up. They'll be uploaded on my channel and his channel.
Yes, sir.
Check them out if you're into that kind of stuff. We'll be talking Thrones every pregame show when the season starts. So get ready for the pregame Thrones talks next month.
No doubt.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones pregame show. I also have something in the works right now with a bunch of other channels. I've talked to a couple of, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I talked to the Roars about it. I actually talked to my homegirl Bar about it, and I talked to Phil the Issues guys about it. And they're going to talk to other people about it. They all three are down with it. So hopefully it's going to be something that we do the day before Game of Thrones drops that Saturday. We're going to talk to them more about it, but please look forward to hearing stuff about that. It's going to be a big thing with a bunch of channels and stuff like that. A huge type situation. Hopefully it gets worked out and it gets done. But, you know, Royce is already down with it. Phil the Issues guys down with it. So we're going to see if we can get this thing popping for y'all. You know what I mean? But it definitely should go down. And we're going to have, we trying to connect a bunch of, we're trying to get, you know, I'm trying to get anyone who has a channel involved in this. You know what I mean? So get the big names in there, then we bring the other people up in there, and we mix it all together, and you'll see exactly what I'm talking about when I talk about it, when I get it popping. But look forward to that probably the day before Game of Thrones seasons come out, that Saturday. Pre-game show every Sunday. We're going 6 o'clock to 8:30, but we're going to start the first one. We're going to start at 5 o'clock till 8:30. We're going to have a bunch of guests on. You know how it is. Me and Mo have a guest from a different channel on for a half an hour. Then the next guest on until the start of the show, until 8:30. That's how we're going to do it every week. Pre-game show. Please tune in back for that. We're going to pump it up this year. You know what I mean? But as I said, Mo's bouncing. But I'm going to stay here with y'all for a little bit longer. And we're going to keep it pumping. So Mo Genie Linguini, Thank you for coming out here and chilling with me, man. You know how we do, brother. You know what I mean?
Thanks a lot, man. Take it easy, all right?
No doubt. Be safe, brother.
One.
All right, my people. I'm still up in this motherfucker. Now it's a little bit harder for me because I ain't got no one to lean on right now. So I'm gonna have to take these questions, look at these questions, and go through everything and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So that is what's going on. So I'm gonna go back up. Right now, I'm not even looking at myself in the what I look like on the thing. I'm just right here. I'm with y'all in the chat. All 105 people still here watching with us at 11 o'clock at night, 11 p.m. on the Eastern time. You know what I mean? We still doing this, and that's how we get down. So I'm going to look for questions right here and see what we can do about these questions. Now, I seen something here. Someone asked, "What's a good recipe for eggplant parmesan, brother?" That's the easy one. Let's see. Bernie Roosevelt asked, "If you had to pick, who you got to be the Night's Queen?" Well, I have a video about it. And I picked Melisandre. I think I did that way before anyone even thought about that being another Night's Queen. So I'm going to stick with my prediction of Melisandre being the Night's Queen. I'm going to go with that. I think it's pretty obvious that she's going to be the Night's Queen. I don't think how anyone else can be the Night's Queen but her. Has to be Melisandre without a doubt. If you don't know how I feel that way, go into that video and you'll understand exactly why I feel that way. We have a question here from Makaya. Do you think the White Walkers have a fortress as such? I think in the lands of always winter, there's a whole civilization there with the White Walkers. I mean, when you look at the Night's King and the first Night's King, the one that we've seen, he lived in the Night Fort with the Night's Queen for 13 years. They realized that was a castle. They realized that they were living in a castle. They realized that they were ruling a castle. So if they realize that, then I must have to think that they understand what a city is, what a town is, what a castle is. And that's the way I see it with them. So I think, yes, there definitely is going down like that. Paul Hartman asks, what would you name your Valyrian steel sword? Oh my God. What would I name my Valyrian steel sword? You know, I could let me think about this. My Valyrian steel sword. What would be my name for my Valyrian steel sword? Other people in the chat, if you had a Valyrian steel sword, what would you name your Valyrian steel sword? I would have to name it. Have to be something crazy. Let me think of something. You know, that is a hard question. I don't know if it's hard because I'm drinking. I need something that would have to be hot though. You know what I mean? So my Valyrian steel sword. What would be the name of my motherfucking sword? I would probably have to be trying to think of something hot. It would have to be something that meant it would. I can give you the meaning of it more than the name of it. It would have to be something that meant no please. You know, no copping please. You know, people try to cop pleas. They try to say some shit. And then when you confront them on it, they want to cop a plea. You know what I mean? That's the way it is in New York City. That's the language that we use out here. It would have to be something like that. Like that, we don't accept plea bargains. There's no pleas taken here. If you said it, you getting it, and that's it. There's no way to get out of it. You know, maybe no way out or something like that. Some type of situation like that. That this you getting got. You know what I mean? Godzilla. Who knows? I don't know what it would be, but it would have to be something hot. I'll have to think about that. Brett Core, Ruthless Lover Tony. You know, my rap name was Ruthless Lover. Tone 1, actually, when I was rapping back then. You know what I mean? It was the Ruthless Lover Tone 1. I used to rap with my boy Blue Nile. We should write my man Head Wrecker of the Bleach Brothers. We should do that down in Gates Avenue in Brooklyn. To get my beats from out there on Gates Avenue on the J train. You know what I mean? So stop off there, watch my man Blue Nile's house, get those beats, show my man Tawana Divine, and rock that. You know what I mean? That's the way it was back then. Renee M. Plea Breaker. I could deal with that. That could be good. We could run with that. We could run with that, shorty. You know what I mean? Michael Smith says great balls of fire. Black says the judge. Someone says no parlay. Someone, Ray West, says the truth. Soul holder. Sword death row. Soul taker. Yeah, all good names, you know what I mean? Definitely be something like that. Question is, how do you feel about Jon, Dany, and Tyrion's birth taking their mother's life? Blood magic to birth dragons. Now, this is a very interesting question that you asked right there. Was it blood magic to birth dragons? Now, this is a reason why people want to think that Tyrion is a Targaryen, because he killed his mother on his birth, which is a known trait of Targaryens when they're born to kill their mother. I don't believe Tyrion's a Targaryen whatsoever. Actually, the video that I put up that got shut down because the copyrights was dealing with that situation. So I don't believe he's a Targaryen or anything like that. So I don't know if that all flies. It's a very interesting point that you made. Is it a reason to birth dragons? It could be. There's 3 people. It fits. But I just don't think that Tyrion is a Targaryen for it to work out at all. Oh, someone said the sword should be called the Long Don. You know, you want to do that, it could be. It could be that. They asked me, when am I watching All's Eyes on Me? I'll be watching it as soon as it drops. I'm going out to see it. So without a doubt, you know what I mean? After that movie drops, after the All Eyes on Me Tupac movie drops, I will talk to you about behind the scenes dealing with his mother, Faye, and how that whole movie and all that came. It's been many years for that movie, but I know the whole story behind it. Obviously, dealt with his mother and stuff like that, and knew her and stuff like that. So I will talk to you all about the makings of that movie after it drops. But please try to watch it if you can. Get out there and take a look at it. What up, Valar Margula? Says he's late to the parlay. You know what I mean? Thank you for stopping by. We still here. Question here from Pete Easy. Could the 3 heads of the dragon just be Rhaegar, Viserion, and Dany? Pete Easy. That sounds like you watched a Tony Teflon video. Because in that video, I had specifically said that they were the 3 heads of the dragon, but they got killed off. But that was the 3 heads of the dragon. You're exactly, in my estimation, you are exactly correct. That they were the 3 heads of the dragon, what was supposed to be the 3 heads of the dragon, but they got killed off. Let's see. Well, I seen it right there. Messiah Houston asks, what is your favorite Winds chapter? Without a doubt, it's the Theon chapter dealing with Stannis Baratheon. I still think that is the greatest chapter that he has released. One of the best chapters he has ever written. The Forsaken chapter has gotten a lot of buzz lately because of the stuff that happens in the chapter, stuff that people didn't think were going to happen in the chapter. I think it's more shock value, but for the way it's written, there's stuff you get out of it. I think that without a doubt, the Theon Winds of Winter chapter that has been released is by far the greatest chapter that has been released of them all. What up, my man Fernandez? What up, South Central? You know how we do. Who Rides the Current Dragons by Azora House Baragathosian. I just think the video I put out today that got flagged would have dealt with that whole situation, but I think you're seeing the Rise of the Dragon. It's Dany, Jon Snow, the Night's King. Those are the three heads of the dragon. Those are the three people riding dragons. Derek asks, is Bran the Night's King that we see in the show? When Leaf said they were protecting themselves from you, was she being literal? That is a very good question. It's something I never even thought about before in the sense that you said it. Is Bran been crossed over to become this Night's King? I can't really say that he is because we see the flashback of the guy with different type of hairstyle that they put in the obsidian in his chest. So for show purposes, it can't be. For book purposes, we haven't seen the Night's King yet. He hasn't been introduced yet. I do believe that that's Gilly's baby monster that will be the Night's King in the books. Paul Hartman asks, when will they release the Kraken already? Well, I think that's happened in Don the Kraken's bedroom many a times. You could ask his girlfriend about that. It's been released all over the place. Night's King asks, are you doing a post-episode review on James Johnson's channel this year? I will be on the Small Council this year. I'm always on the Small Council unless I'm asked not to be. So I don't believe I will be asked not to be. So I will be on the Small Council. I don't think that won't be on right after it comes out. Most likely on a Tuesday or a Wednesday, we'll be doing the Small Council review. But yes, I look forward. It's one of the best times I have is being on James Johnson's channel. So I look forward to being on that. And, you know, like a lot of people have a lot of different groups out here nowadays. You know, my group, Small Council. Always rep the Small Council. Definitely rocking with them. Don't plan on leaving them. That's just my people. That's how we go. Paul asked, would you rather ice dragons be their own species or just white dragons? I think that ice dragons are their own species. I think it's documented in the world of Ice and Fire that they all are their own species. Now, is it possible that the Night's King has a white dragon? Very possible that he has a resurrected dragon. If it is a resurrected dragon, that is not my prediction. My prediction was for ice dragon. So I'm hoping it's an ice dragon. And that's what I think it'll be. It have to be. Pete Easy asks, who was Craster's daddy? I said this. I got a video, the White Walker's Monster, that I came out with years ago with Don the Kraken Wit and Don Willie. And I told you in that video that Craster's father is Blood Raven. I predicted that a long time ago, years ago. I know people are catching up on that right now and coming around to that idea now. But if you look at the Don, you can check. I predicted that way before anyone even thought about it. So definitely a Don's prediction. Brett Cole asked me to go up and answer his question. So I'm going to go back up and see if I can find this Brett Cole question. Here it is. Dawn isn't even Valyrian, is it? Did Rhaegar have a Valyrian sword? Could that be at Winterfell? Dawn is made from a meteorite of a star. All right, so let's break this down real quick. Dawn isn't even Valyrian. Correct. Dawn is not a Valyrian steel sword, as the fact that we know a Valyrian steel sword, but it has the exact same attributes of a Valyrian steel sword. All right. Did Rhaegar have a Valyrian steel sword? Not that we know of, that he had his own personal Valyrian steel sword. We never hear about that. Could that be at Winterfell? It's the fact that we don't hear about that. The only thing we hear about is Rhaegar, that he had special, it's his harp. I would think that would be, if anything to be at Winterfell, would be the harp that he's known to be playing. Dawn is made from a meteorite star. Supposedly, it's made from a falling star. But if you look at the star, if his wife is considered the star and he made it from her, which is what I think how it happened, then that's why it would be considered that way. You know what I mean? If she is a sea star or something like that, you know what I mean? Then that's what I would be. That's why I think the double entendre would come, and that's why they would say a fallen star. One second, people. I had to check my phone real quick. People. All right, that was that question. How long till Widow's Wail and Oathkeeper are melted back into ice? I would think, that brings up, if that is going to happen, it really doesn't make a lot of sense for it to happen. You would rather have as many swords as you can fighting the White Walkers than one big ass sword. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it's going to happen. It should happen in the epilogue after the show is over. What part of the world did Azor Ahai live in? They don't really specifically say what part of the world that he lived in. It's not put out there where he is exactly from. But I would have to say that it's not Westeros or anything like that. He's not from over there. Well, thank you for asking the question. I'm glad you like the answer. But I have rocked, I think. If I have any last words, I think I've rocked maybe a half an hour or so without Mo or by myself. I'm still willing to rock for a little bit longer, but I'll answer a couple of more questions. But before I do answer them questions, before I go, if you could do me one favor, and it's a Teflon TV, House Teflon exclusive. What we do here, rep your hood. And if you can, please put where you're from, the city you're from in the chat so that people can know we are worldwide, and I will read out as many of them as I can. They come fast, but I'll read them all out as many as I can. So please put in the chat, rep your hood. We'll rep your hood, and then we will take a couple of more questions, and then we will be out of this piece. I know people got to work in the morning, man. It's still a weekday here. So we got Kai Taylor, Buffalo, New York. We got Derek Brock, Stockton, California. Ellie, all right, it's going fast already. Jeez. Ellie Bree from Westlake, California, Westlake Village, California. Never heard of that place, but glad I did it right now. Valar Margulis, the City of Champions, Pittsburgh. I guess you're talking about football because I don't know any other champions in any other sport. But you got that sport without a doubt. And when you have football, you don't really need anything else. Let's keep going. It went so fast, went right back. I gotta go all the way back up. All right, here we go. We have Brett Cole, Detroit, Michigan. TB, St. Louis, Missouri. Azora House Baragathion from Providence, Rhode Island, USA. John Walters, Nashville, Tennessee. Mika Houston, H-Town, Houston, Texas, land of the big booty chicks. I love you all out there. We got AU Pac-Meal representing Seattle, Washington. My homie, my man, my mellow. Ruthless Lieutenant, Toronto, Ontario. Tracy, Louisville, Kentucky. Sir Yari, Chicago. Lord of Last Hearth, Delaware. Daryl Galt, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Pete Easy, Atlanta, Georgia. Another home of the big booty woman. St. Louis in the beach is in the side. Vermont is here. We got New England in the house. We got Australia, Newburgh, Australia. SLC, Utah. Key West of Westeros. Let's keep it moving. We're going to go right to the bottom. Las Vegas is in the building for my man, Sir LT Giles. We have a bunch of more people down the Kraken in Atlanta, GA. Amber is in Salt Lake City in Utah. Newborough, Australia. is from, I can't even see, it's going so fast. Alberta, Canada. We got them all. Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you all who have repped your hood. I'm sorry if I did not get to everybody, but I try to get to as many as I can. We will take these next 2 questions, and then we will call it a night for everyone so y'all can get up in the morning and y'all can get Bree Love. Hey, you got the peace sign up. I see you with the peace sign. Got love for you. Throw the peace sign right back at you. 2 questions. Let's get it. Spit it to me. Let's go. And let's make them a complicated question. Something that people, YouTube channels can't answer. So I can answer it. And people ask a question I got here. I'm not even going to take it. What about Gendry? Who is his mom? His mom is irrelevant. It's not Cersei Lannister. Not at all. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you for everyone out there telling people to thumbs up the video. I really do appreciate it if you do thumbs up it. It really does. Listen, get it down to the con. GoFundMe. You've seen a link in there. Amber, then put it up there. If you could help me out in any way, I really do appreciate it. I wouldn't ask if I didn't. I will be at the Con of Thrones. If you're going to be out there, come check me out. Come check out the other YouTubers. Come check me on them panels. Watch me hold it down and break down them panels. I guarantee any panel that I'm on will be lit. I'm not bullshitting when I get on the panel. What you see right here is going to happen on them panels. I don't give a fuck if I was on a panel with the actor that played Ramsay Bolton. I will tell this motherfucker, this little motherfucker, exactly how I feel about his character being portrayed in that way. I will. And I will tell him that I am glad you did not get casted as Jon Snow, because it would have looked crazy. And how he got casted as Ramsay, to me, is a little awkward too, because though he was a good actor, very good actor, he does not fit the bills for Ramsay as we see him in the books whatsoever. I would have casted somebody else. I would have gave him a different role, actually, you know what I mean? That person who casted is casted as Ramsay. He would have definitely gotten a different role. Maybe Dolores Ed. Who knows? But it wouldn't have been a Ramsay Bolton if I was a cast, but I'm not the casting director. Renee asks, why was Brienne's stunt double in the trailer pic? Will she be in the fight at Winterfell? Renee is ruining a video I'm going to come up with, so I'm not going to answer that question. But no, if she's a stunt double there, then she's actually fighting. I think probably some situation, probably a sparring situation where Arya could be for a stunt double to be there for that. Or Winterfell get put under siege and they have to escape. Something like that's going to have to go down. But the stunt double's there for a reason, without a doubt. Ella asks, John's reaction to learning Dany is his aunt after they know each other in the biblical sense. The way these people act, I don't think it's going to matter much. John is going to fuck Dany next season, no doubt about it, aunt or no aunt. He's going to hit it, you know, and then that's the bottom line. I know an exact situation of an aunt sleeping with her nephew and having a baby with her nephew. I know them. I know the couple. I know the child. Not in my family. All right. But I've seen it. All right. So I know it. And I've seen how it has affected their personal family, how everything has gotten out of combobulation when it's gone down. And it's got nothing to do with the child. The child's a beautiful child. It's got no fault of its own. But I've seen that happen in my lifetime now. So it's possible. Don't think it ain't possible back then. I've seen it definitely happen. All right, we'll give it one more question. One more. Oh yeah, yeah. I definitely seen that. I'm not playing when I'm telling you. I've seen it. I live around the Amish people. Where I'm here, there's a bunch of Amish people out here. Yeah, a bunch of them. A bunch of them. I'm telling the Amish people. I'll tell you a story. Amish people up here, they put an ad in the paper, in the newspaper, right? Saying, and it said in the newspaper, it said, wanted large white males. They put that in the newspaper so that they can have sex with their women so they can have kids and stuff, so that there's no more interbreeding. But they had it, and I think they were giving away, I think it was like $7,000 to $10,000, depending on whether it was a male or a female being born and stuff. But it was right in the ad in the paper right there for the Amish people. All right. Last question from the one true David Adams. When the next recast video? I haven't done a recasting video in a while because it doesn't. I try to do videos that people respond to. Like, I like the recasting videos. They don't get a lot of views. A lot of my videos don't get a lot of views. So really no excuse for me not to do them. I tell you what, David, I will do this video that I'm doing right now, and the next video I'll do like 4 recasting videos. Just line them up, and I'll put them out periodically during the week next week. So we'll get 4 of those next week. I still got Jon Snow to do. Got a bunch of people to do. Already got the person I picked out to do Jon Snow, so I can get that done real quick. I'll do those videos, and then I'll definitely hit you up on that, and you'll see that. So good question, David. I appreciate you being interested in the recasting videos. I love doing them. I really do, but it gets to the point where you have to start looking at the time that you're putting in to do the videos and the response you're getting from the videos. I do the recasting videos, and I get more response of people doing other recasting videos and just changing the names than I do actual views that I get on them. But we're going to keep the recasting videos going because I do enjoy doing them and stuff like that. So that is, so that is going to be the last question for my man Dave. You know what I mean? We're going to put that in there like that. We're going to end this. So now I'm going to leave the chat right now so I can turn this thing off and stuff like that. But I like to say thank you for everybody stopping by, watching us, watching me, watching Mo. You know what I mean? Coming here, we're going to do another live stream as quick as we can. You see the background, you see the bar, we in the back. This is where it's going to be. It's going to look like this, you know, from now on while we do this. Hopefully you like it. I'm going to get the eye level of the camera a little different, so I have to keep looking up at it and stuff like that. We're going to try to get that situated for you, you know what I mean, so you can see me and stuff like that. But if you like the way I do this, please thumbs up this, please. I'm going to fuck up this because I've been drinking it. So I'm not even going to say it. I'm just going to say the end of it, and that is peace and stay sexy. And now I'm fidgeting around, and it has come off of my thing, and it should have been off by now. But for me fidgeting around, it has messed up my piece. I'm holding this damn peace sign up for a goddamn long ass time right now. But in all honesty, peace, stay sexy. I'll see you next time.